Darren McConkey, Senior Ecosystem Biologist working for the Public Service of British Columbia. As a member of the BC General Employees Union, I'm currently on strike, but I'm still talking to the trees. I'm here today with Noah Gohs, a Northern Goshawk, the largest forest-dwelling hawk on the coast of BC. How's it going, Noah? Good, man. How are you doing? I'm okay. It's tough not being at work, but those of us in the union are standing strong together, and I'm hopeful we'll soon get the recognition we deserve. Well, I hope you get that figured out soon. What you want, bucko? I was hoping you could tell folks a little about yourself, where you guys live, what you eat, anything that helps them get to know you a little better. Sure, I live in the deep dark woods, literally. Mostly in old and mature forests with tall trees and lots of room to fly around underneath the closed canopies. I don't really like being out in the open. Might bump into those bloody red-tailed hawks. What's your favorite thing to eat? Oh, I love me a big old juicy squirrel, but I'll dig into just about anything out there up to about as big as I am. Like what? Grouse, ducks, you name it, I'm not really that picky. I wouldn't pass up a dim sum buffet full of jays and thrushes, but I can't be bothered with the really small songbirds, you know. No meat on those bones. Where do baby goshawks come from? What is this, a sex ed episode? How would you like me asking where your babies come from? No offense intended, Noah. I just think our audience would find your breeding ecology really interesting. Thank God I'm here. Leave it to you scientists to take all the fun out of having babies. Breeding ecology, ha, lighten up. Okay, where should I start? Well, whatever you're comfortable with. What's the rating for this show? Family, please. Oh, that's too bad. Me and the missus could really put on a show with her. I think you're about to tell us more about your breeding ecology. Well, the missus and I don't often spend the winter together, so we reconnect in the spring and get back to really checking each other out. I've got some moves that my girl just can't resist. A little and a woom zoom woom, and she's wrapped around my talon, begging for more. I'm sure, Noah. Then what? Well, we need to make sure the nest is ready. Sometimes we'll add sticks to an existing nest and reuse it, but you know how ladies can be. Picky, always changing their mind, finding fault with just about everything I do. This means I often have to build a new nest from scratch, even when the old one is just fine. Do you know how much work that is? Our nests are like a meet or a cross. No, but as a biologist who spent hundreds of days looking for goshawks and their active nests, I can tell you that all those alternate nests, hundreds of meters apart in the same breeding area, are a real pain in the you-know-what. Why are you looking for goshawk nests? Noah, we went over this. I'm a biologist. We're trying to find breeding areas to protect. It's one of the most important goshawk habitat management actions provincial biologists have been working on for years. Well, when you find these nests, how do you protect them? Well, sometimes the logging companies find them and tell us about them, and sometimes we find them on our own by hiking through the forest doing surveys. We protect them by establishing wildlife habitat areas, or WHAs we call them. These are protected areas that don't allow logging. Really? How big are they? You know we need a lot of forest to catch enough food to raise our families. Well, the target size is 200 hectares. Some WHAs are larger, but the minimum size is 176 hectares. This makes them big enough to include several of those alternate nests we were talking about earlier. Makes sense, but you know the missus won't let me hunt in the breeding area, so she forces me to hunt sometimes kilometers away from our nests. How are you managing that habitat? Well, we call that foraging habitat, and you're probably not going to like this, but in most places we're not managing it. Some of it is maintained, but to be honest, biologists haven't really figured out how much foraging habitat goshawks need. Well, why didn't you just ask? I can tell you that some years it's more than others. Like when prey numbers are down, and then some years, when there's lots of prey, I don't even need to go that far away. Plus, you know me, I'm a bang-on killer, awesome, deadly hunter, so I need less forest than most. Well, you've just nailed a few of the challenges. Well, how many of these goshawk WHAs are there anyways? Well, in 2018, the province approved an implementation plan for goshawks on the coast. The plan includes targets for each of the 4 conservation regions that we're working towards. Just answer the question. I just wanted to explain the context, Noah. Ecosystem biologists supported the decisions and helped write that plan. We've been working for over 20 years to establish goshawk WHAs. I'm more familiar with the West Coast region where I work, and I think we've got about 70 goshawk WHAs established, and work was proceeding on a bunch more. What do you mean was? Remember, Noah, my colleagues and I are on strike, so a lot of that work is stopped. Well, you need to get back to work. Just think of those poor little goshawk chicks. They need places to grow up and learn to hunt. We will know. We want to. We just need the province to get back to the bargaining table with a fair offer that recognizes the important work public servants do. One last thing I want to cover today. It's about your name. Oh, God, not this again. Are you trying to piss me off? No, that's not it at all, but you sound like you know what I'm talking about. On second thought, let's leave it there, folks. We're over time, and I don't want to see Noah any more fired up than he already is. If you can keep the profanity under control, we'll save the conversation about your name for another time. Well, then you better bring the beeping next time, mate. Thanks for speaking with me. This is Darren McConkey, Senior Ecosystem Biologist, currently on strike, but still talking to the trees.